Okay, this morning got to change fork oil, so thought I'd quickly show you how to do that. I mean, this isn't complete strip down of the forks or anything, this is just changing the fork oil. So I've already done this fork, so I'm going to show you how to do it on this fork, because I practiced on the other one just to make sure I know how to do it. So strip all the wheel and mudguard and all that sort of stuff off, undo any brackets, then you loosen off the top yoke nuts, but leave the bottom yoke nuts tight, because you're going to use that as a sort of fork clamp to hold this tight. Because then what you do is you get the proper tool to fit on the top nut of your fork of whatever, whatever size it is. Unfortunately though, the last person who owned these forks, they chewed all of this up, so all I can use is a pair of puck clamps. So I'm going to put them on there once I've that's them on, and then I use that to, hold on, wrong way, just follow this round, because I just use that just to loosen that off a bit. So that's just lifted that up a bit. Makes it so much easier when I get it into the shed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo these two bolts, drop the forks out, take it into the shed, and I'll meet you in there. That's the fork off. Got the fork in the shed already. First thing to do is give it a clean. So I'm going to use Sillet Bang on there, then just give this a quick wipe over and check for any rust spots, which I'm going to take off with a bit of wet and dry. But first off, Sillet Bang. I use this because we've got it in the kitchen and it's aluminium safe. So I'm going to get on and do that. Right, there you go, that's that main part. Just giving a quick clean over with Sillet Bang. Gets all the road muck and stuff off quickly. And then gone over here, got off rust spots. It's, I mean, it's going to get another clean, but it's just so that when I slide the stanchion into the main body, it doesn't churn up this dust seal too much. It's going to do it, but it's not going to do it too much. Right, now now what we do is we get the oil from there into there. So I'll get rid of that out of the way, and that I'll put you back up and then we'll sort this out. So all we've got to do is undo the fork cap, pour all the oil into the jug. Now when I did the previous one, I marked on there, oh you can't see that, there you go, I marked on the jug how much oil was in it, and I also marked the minimum standard, or the standard amount that oil that should be in it. So there was quite a bit of difference. There was about 50 cc's of difference, which is a fair old air gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the oil from that one into here, then measure how much fork oil is in that one and see if there's any variation. Right, so I got all the oil out like I could, and I don't know if you can see that. There's 500 cc's in the left hand fork. In the right hand fork it was, can you, about 550, 560 cc's. So it's 60 cc's difference between the left and the right fork, and that's 150 cc's less than the standard amount, which, you know, is quite amazing. I'm quite surprised. Mind you, it does go to show you, you should always check your forks. If you buy second-hand forks, check the oil level straight away. I didn't do it, and I was having problems, and this might be part of the reason. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that oil, and I'm going to put in a measured amount of 665 cc's into here, and then I'm going to pour it into there. 665 cc's, by the way, is the maximum that you can use on these forks. These are a shower fork that were used on the DR125 to 400 in 1991. It's the only year they used these forks, and I know why, because they've only got compression adjustment, they haven't got any rebound adjustment. That's all down to fork level, sorry, oil level. So I'm going to put in the maximum amount in these because it's going onto the trike, and then I can take oil out as if I need to. So now I'm going to get rid of this and then get back to filling these up. fork oil in, cap done up, and what I've got to do now is I've got to pump the fork again to purge all the oil out of the chamber that's in there, the hydraulic chamber, and put the oil into it. So purge all the air out of it, put the oil into it, and as you'll see as I do it, the spring effect will lessen. Right, so now that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some 600 grit, wet and dry, just to polish this stanchion body, and then I'm going to put some high performance high temp bearing grease around the top to grease the seals and stuff in there. It also gets rid of stiction, gets rid of stiction. So I can feel that's a bit lumpy there, so yeah, I'm going to get the wet and dry and get on and do that. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump the fork down a couple of times just to see how far I can get the grease, wheel bearing grease, to go down, and then I'm going to push it down past that point, and that should suck up the bearing grease inside, and it'll lubricate it and get rid of the stiction and just make them run better. Right, so there you go, that's how to change the fork oil, and now I'm going to go and put them back on the trike.